Could the recent media obsession with condemning QAnon
about QAnon, disavow QAnon in its entirety,
and the House of Representatives actually voting to condemn QAnon actually be connected to Hunter Biden's laptop? I know it sounds absurd, but multiple new reports indicate that what is on Biden's laptop goes far beyond just a money for influence scheme. In fact, multiple reports now stating that what is on that laptop also includes sexual images of underage children, including multiple photos of the same girl who happens to be a Biden family member. It is sickening, it is strange, and unfortunately, we have to cover it. I'm Ben Swann, and this is Truth in Media. Hey there guys, welcome to the show. This is such a disturbing story to talk about, but it's one that is important to talk about because of the realities of what we're dealing with. The story, the saga surrounding Hunter Biden's laptop has reached unbelievable levels, from tech companies banning even discussions of the fact that his laptop had been discovered. Some of the documents that are on there and emails that indicate a money for influence scheme that was cooked up by Hunter Biden and his partners in the Burisma scandal in Ukraine, but not just there, but also relationships with China, now emails about a relationship in Kazakhstan, and money that was given to Hunter Biden by the mayor of Moscow's wife. All of it being connected together through this laptop that has been found at a Mac shop in Delaware, and apparently that laptop got into the hands of Rudy Giuliani, who has then shared what was on it with the New York Post. Now, it's important to note that every single thing that's come out so far about this laptop has not been disproven, even though media keeps saying, oh, this is all being disproven or it's a Russian hoax. It's not. There's not been one single email, one single shred of information that's come from that laptop that has been disproven so far. In fact, it hasn't even been denied so far by the Biden campaign, and that in and of itself is very telling. But now new information about what else is on that laptop, including multiple reports that indicate that there are sexually explicit images and provocative images of a minor girl who is also a Biden family member. And in some of those photos, she is seen in compromising positions with Hunter Biden. Again, it's a disturbing story. We're going to break down exactly what's being reported about this, and also the fact that Rudy Giuliani, who himself is a questionable character in all this, apparently took that laptop with those images and was escorted by a former New York City police commissioner. He took it to local police in Delaware, turned over that laptop, turned over the images and text messages that seemed to indicate this, criminal behavior, and asked what they would do about it. So let's break down all of this today. But before we do, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor for this episode, Kim Daly, the Daily Coach. If you are interested in becoming an entrepreneur, if you want to learn about how to run a business for yourself, just starting a business from scratch is an incredible task. But through the help of franchising, it becomes a lot easier. Kim Daly is America's #1 franchise consultant. She can teach you how to build the franchise of your dreams. But the only way you're going to learn how to do this is by talking to Kim one-on-one. And she's made herself available to our viewers to do just that. You will see in the link in the description below a link to a 25-minute interview I did with Kim recently where she explains all about her business and what she does. And I just want to make clear to you that Kim charges you nothing for this consultation. Reach out to her. Find out if owning your own franchise is right for you. Now back to the story of what is on Hunter Biden's laptop. It is really a staggering story in terms of this new information that is just coming out. It's being reported on multiple outlets, including John Solomon's Just the News. Evidence from alleged Hunter Biden computer was turned over to the Delaware Justice Department. Rudy Giuliani, one of President Trump's private attorneys, has reported to Delaware police concerns that materials on a laptop purportedly tied to Hunter Biden contained evidence of possible child endangerment. Giuliani, a former U.S. attorney and New York City mayor, confirmed Tuesday night he went Monday to a local police department in Wilmington to report his concerns of children endangerment and sexual exploitation. Giuliani told Just the News that former New York Police Department Commissioner Bernard Carrick joined him when he delivered photographs and text messages to the New Castle County Police Department. Quote, I told them other details about what appears to be an inappropriate sexual relationship, he said in an interview. They told me it would be investigated. So then, of course, we have to ask, what was on that laptop? Now, Giuliani did an interview with Newsmax TV just the other night where he explained some of this. Here's a clip from that interview.
And he says, she told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate. This would be with a unnamed 14-year-old girl. When she says that I FaceTime naked with the unnamed 14-year-old girl, and the reason I can't have her out to see me is because I'll walk around naked smoking crack, talking tom girls on FaceTime. When she was pressed, she said that the unnamed 14-year-old girl never said anything like that, but the bottom line is that I created and caused a very unsafe environment for the kids. This is supported by numerous pictures of underage girls.
So, Mr. Mayor, that's dynamite stuff, and I've seen it.
I turned it over to the.
You turned it over to the Delaware State Police, correct?
Yes, yesterday. Bernie Kerik and I turned it over to the Delaware State Police because we're very uncomfortable with this. So we're very uncomfortable with the fact that these underage girls were not protected.
So again, Giuliani says he turned over this laptop because it contained photos and text messages that were inappropriate and appeared to involve an underage girl. This underage girl, who Giuliani, by the way, did not name or identify, is reportedly, according to some news outlets, a relative of Hunter Biden, a Biden family member herself. In one of the texts, Hunter Biden says to his sister-in-law, also his lover, that he FaceTimed a 14-year-old girl while naked and doing crack. Quote, she told my therapist that I was sexually inappropriate. Giuliani adds, quote, this would be with regard an unnamed 14-year-old girl, adding that this is supported by numerous pictures of underage girls. Now, what's even more surprising about this story is that the FBI had possession of this laptop since 2019, and yet so far seems to have done nothing with this information. Again, look, there's a lot to this story, and we don't want to just fall into the trap of reporting things that have been unsubstantiated. However, again, there has been a release of these text messages, as you can see here, that were on the hard drive itself. Now, I want to make a very important point here, which is that there has been an incredible amount of collusion between the intelligence communities like the CIA and the FBI, collusion between the House Intelligence Committee and members of Congress, as well as the mainstream media and big tech companies surrounding specifically this story. We've known for some time that these different entities have worked together and colluded together in order to be able to control a narrative, but we have never seen it exposed the way it's being exposed right now. Right now, we have an incredible number of agencies in the federal government. We have mainstream media and tech companies like Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and politicians all working together to control a story and to hide a story. Now, the Hunter Biden story by itself, if we take out these latest revelations, is a story right now of pay to play. It's a story of money for influence. That story is a massive story. It is an incredible story that indicates that Hunter Biden not only may have facilitated a relationship between his father and Burisma, his father and China, his father and Kazakhstan, in exchange for tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. Not only does this story start there, and has been suppressed there, but meanwhile, we also see now these new elements to the story which indicate, we don't know, I want to make that clear, we don't know, but they indicate that there may have been underage girls in sexually compromising positions on Hunter Biden's laptop. So the question becomes, if that is the case, does that also explain why, as of late, there has been an incredible push by the media to crush this QAnon conspiracy theory of these crazy conspiracy theorists who believe that there are cabals of child predators in high levels of government and media. Now, we know that this question came up during Donald Trump's town hall the other night by Savannah Guthrie. Here's what she pressed the president on then.
About QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a satanic cult run by the deep
study
state.
The subject. I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's crazy and not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
Not only that, but the House of Representatives recently passed a resolution condemning QAnon as a conspiracy theory and stating that it was harmful to the country. Now, mind you, the House of Representatives has not passed a resolution which would condemn the violence going on around the country right now in places like Seattle and Portland and Wisconsin, where protesters are burning buildings and burning businesses and kicking people in the head until they're unconscious. It doesn't condemn that. But it does condemn QAnon. Why? Because they say, oh, it's dangerous because you think that all Democrats are pedophiles. Well, the QAnon belief, as far as I can tell, and maybe I'm wrong about this, does not believe that all Democrats are pedophiles. It believes that a small group of people in power also have connections to pedophile rings. And by the way, again, I might be wrong about this, but my understanding is that doesn't limit itself to just Democrats. Remember the former Speaker of the House, Dennis Hastert, the now deceased former Speaker of the House? Well, at one point, he was actually convicted of having sexually assaulted minors when he was a wrestling coach. And years later, Dennis Hastert became the third most powerful man in the entire country as the Speaker of the House. We also know that the Catholic Church scandal, which for many years was called a conspiracy, of course, involves hundreds of high-level priests and the highest levels of the Catholic Church hiding and covering up the sexual abuse of young people. So the idea that people in power don't abuse other people, of course they do. We know this to be true. But is the reason that the media is taking such an aggressive move towards QAnon right now, such an aggressive move by Facebook and tech companies that are now saying they will ban QAnon conspiracy theories? And now we're seeing mainstream media bringing QAnon up at multiple presidential town halls and debates. Is the reason for all of this the same kind of collusion that we're seeing in the rest of the Hunter Biden story, to crush and squash any discussion of an issue that, quite frankly, is a terrifying issue, but that simply this idea that there are those in power who use that power to abuse the people around them. And in many cases, those people who are abused are underage children.